I need it, I'll just ask.
I'll just throw it at you.
Just throw it at me. I'm used to it. I had a hard time not getting emotional in the locker room after the game, and it's been an interesting 72 hours, to say the least, and just part of the most gut-wrenching loss I've ever been a part of, and everything that went along with it, and these young men and what they did and how they've handled the last 3 days, and showed who they are as young men, emotionally, physically, mentally, all those things, and to come out and fight and do what they needed to do here tonight was awesome. I mean, I don't even know the adjective or the words I have to describe it, but they showed exactly, who they are, and they always do, but it's just such a great life lesson for them to be able to do that and to respond the way that they did, and handled it beautifully, came out strong, played great, and then when San Diego State took the lead with 7:20, we just buckled right back up and did what we needed to do, and as good of a win as we had, and just couldn't be prouder of a group of young men.
Niko, a lot of people, you make a big deal of a player when he has a sensational performance and a clutch time at the end of the game. Wasn't it similar to what Niko came out and did the first 10 minutes of that game to give your team energy? It seemed like confidence, riled up the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, set the tone. I'm sure it's called like it is. I'm sure everyone's wondering, how is CSU going to respond? After that, are they going to come out? And I thought, his play and our defense, right, just came out. We were flying around. We were aggressive. We were tough. And so we came out and said, no, we're here. All right, like no one's knocked us out. You know what I mean? We're ready to play and fight. And I thought he set the tone by that. But I thought collectively, especially on the defensive end and on the glass, I thought we did that.
How big was the help defense tonight, particularly on the D?
Terrific. I mean, I obviously he's an unbelievable player, all-American level player. Huge part of our game plan. I thought our guys did an unbelievable job of, fighting to help take his space, crowd him, make his life difficult as best we could. I thought our guys did that. And obviously Pat and Rashawn spent most of the time on him, but it was a team effort. And when I see the 11 steals tonight, I just thought our guys did a great job of really being connected defensively and being tough-minded, and playing physical without fouling unnecessarily, scrapping for 50-50 balls. And I thought, John, he's a tremendous player, but I thought a lot of his points came on second chances, especially in the second half. But, man, I thought we defended him about as well as he could.
You might kind of be alluding to this, but it seemed like every time San Diego State would kind of respond with a run, it would be a loose ball or a tie-up or a contest at the rim, and that would spark a run offensively.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you have to do. I mean, listen, these guys, and I'm not saying this. I mean, Dutch and I are good friends. I mean, I have as much respect for their program as anybody. They've been the class of the league, and I said it before this season. They're the team to beat, and so they're going to fight back. They're going to make a run. You're not just going to go out and just beat them. That's what they do, and they've had time to prepare. They were going to be ready tonight. But our guys just, listen, we've been in some big games. We've won some big games. We've been in those battles where people make runs and don't flinch, and we've won a lot of games like that where we've had to do it and then make a run late and stave it off and find a way to win it in the end. And so I don't think any of our guys felt it was going to be any different.
Niko, obviously, it wasn't a normal loss, so to speak, and kind of had to find a way to move on. Can you just walk through that 72 hours, what you guys did? Obviously, the kickball game, kind of where that
we've
came
heard about
from.
the kickball game already, right?
Zay was pretty proud of the win.
I think I could go a lot of different directions with this, but, Erica, my wife, can attest. I mean, I'm glad I didn't ride home with the team, but was as difficult of a trip down the highway as I've had. I'm glad my kids had their earphones on. You felt everything. You're angry, you're frustrated, you're bitter, you're just really sad, I mean, that's a hard deal, and I think, you get home, you process, and you try to catch your breath. You talk to people and your mentors and people in your life who you trust the most. I've always learned when you're really emotional and stuff like that, the best thing you can do is not say too much or say anything. That's advice for everybody, all right, by the way, to get emotional. And, we slept on it, and I woke up the next morning. It was beautiful. I mean, I had so many great messages and texts from people that I really care about and reached out, and I woke up really ready to come in on Sunday and get back with this group. And I knew the number one thing is we had to repair these guys emotionally, right? And for us, it was just, we talked a lot, and talked a lot about it. We weren't going to dwell on it or anything like that. You don't go in and try to shame these guys for what they did. They all know. Everybody else tries to shame them, but they know the deal. They care. They hurt. We talked a lot about life, and I talked to them about how, you don't get many texts after those games, right? You don't get a lot of words of encouragement or hang in there, but who are the people that did for you? And family, friends, close friends, I told them, those are the people that matter the most. Those are the people in your circle. Those are the people that have your back, okay, when things get difficult. I said, remember that. And remember other people, you tune out that other stuff. The other thing I told them is, remember how that made you feel? I know how it made me feel to have those people do that for me. And I think it's a great life lesson for these young people to know when they see somebody they care about that's hurting or going through some, take time out of your day to check on them too. They freaking appreciate it. You know what I mean? And, we did that. We lifted, and I just decided, you know what? We're not going to spend 1 second getting ready for San Diego State. 60 degrees outside in Fort Collins. Let's go out and play some kickball. And so we went out, and that's what we did. And the guys laughed. They had fun. And I told them, we walk out here, not one person's hanging their head. Not one person's doing this. Stick your chest out, head up, and we're going. We're going to fight. You know what I mean? And I knew we would. We had a blast. And they didn't tell you, but Joe Deciman and Brian Cooley blew the game in a historic, base running error that might have been worse than our collapse in Laramie, if we're being honest. You know what I mean? And so the game was won, and they completely choked it away. But the guys had a blast. And then we came in the next day, we reset, and let's go to work. And I thought it was great that we got to get back in the ring. I think it's important to get right back in the ring again sometimes and get right back in the fight. And we did. And so I just told them after the team, there's just a lot of life lessons you can learn from that, of how you handle these situations as a young man. And I coach young men. I coach young men, and they prove that.
What can you say about Joel Scott late? He attacked the rim, and then they're kind of daring him to shoot that three, and he cashes the big one late.
I just love the way he's playing when he's aggressive and has a chip on his shoulder, and we need that. He's a guy. He's been that way early in the season. Like I tell you, we'll go through a little funk. Seasons don't go like this, and when he's aggressive, he's driven. He's great defensively, and yeah, those 2 threes were huge, and he's made them early in the year. And when he takes the good ones like that, we trust him to knock them down.
Coach Joe Palmer had a birthday today, 2,000 headbands.
Ha.
What was that moment like for a transfer here, and kind of what it meant to maybe him and the team?
Guys joked this morning, who the heck has their own day for him? This dude's been here for whatever. It's his birthday. He's got his own, headband day or whatever. Zay and I were joking, whatever. This is crazy, But what a great young man. What a great story, for him coming here, and brings us so much energy and joy as a teammate and person. And so, no, it's great. And what better way to spend a birthday than get a win, and especially win against San Diego State in a sellout crowd.
So considering what you went through 72 hours, when you get down 61-60, the way your team responded, 8-0 run, immediately, you're not shocked. You knew they were ready for that moment.
No, wasn't shocked at all. Obviously, I think they answered it with the way they came out to start the game, kind of answered are we going to hang our head or be ready? They were ready. So, again, they've been through that. That's what all these games come down to. Do you know what I mean? It's people make runs, it happens, and you just got to gather yourself, come out, and try to win the next moment, and we've got a team that's done that. We've won some big games this year, and so we know that. I'm not saying that usually, but our guys didn't flinch. And you know what? We're going to have to go do that Saturday at Fresno. That's what it is. That's what this is. Do you know what I mean? And embrace it.
Of your 5 starters tonight, Isaiah Stevens is the only person who's been at this program his entire career. Every other person has, been at different programs, had their different difficulties, and kind of created different experiences. How much does that help kind of their experiences and the veteran level of this team kind of getting over that Wyoming loss and then coming out and beating the national championship runner-ups?
I think all those things play a factor in it, but the biggest thing that it is, it's their character as young men. That's what it is. Life deals you all kinds of. Listen, everybody, I've seen stuff like that happen. If y'all remember 3 years ago, that happened to Utah State. I think they're up 12, 45 seconds to go. Ray J. Dennis, and so you never think it's going to happen to you, right? Oh, it's never going to happen to me, or us, and it did. But they showed, that it's their character. It's who they are as people responding to adversity. That's what life is. Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you deal with it.
Niko, you, going back to the timeout you called, they take the lead, their only lead of the game. I think you ran a play for Patrick. What were you looking for there, and what were you hoping to get out of it?
I thought we were having some success inside. I thought we were going inside. We were getting to the free throw line. We were having success attacking the rim and not settling. And we just wanted to go right back to the interior, instead of trying to settle, for a shot. And that's really what we were trying to do. And I thought we did a good job in the second half. I don't know what the second half points in the paint were, but, we were able to do that. I thought that was a big key in the game. And I thought, again, coming out right away, that bucket, and I think Clifford had the big dunk after that, and we just never looked back.
Coach, how impressed were you with Joel Scott's ability, especially in the beginning of the second half, to be successful in the post, especially against much bigger defenders for San Diego State?
He's really crafty. He did that at Black Hills State, and so he's very comfortable down there. He's really strong. He's a good athlete. Plays on balance, knows how to get himself to the free throw line, and so that's always been a part of game. To be honest, something that maybe he's the most comfortable doing, and so that was huge for us, getting to the free throw line and attacking the interior.
Were you a little surprised they didn't double team you a little bit more when you had those ISOs?
I don't know. I think they're a team that will double. Listen, they know what they're doing as much as anybody. They're terrific and they're unbelievably well coached, and they probably made the determination that, hey, we don't want to leave, somebody open that way. And tonight it worked out in our favor. I'm probably, when we go down to Viejas, we might have to be ready for something different.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you. Yep.